Hi everyone, in today's fit video we are continuing to look at how to fit our bodice top, and we're specifically going to be looking at our neckline to see if it's too tight generally all the way around or generally too loose all the way around. We're going to take a look at that together now. As ever, you're going to need your body block that we've drawn up in previous videos, and we'll be looking at how to adapt that. You should have also sewn up your calico toile so you can see that and fit it on you together. So grab your toile, grab your block, and off we go. Your neck may be too tight and you may need to give volume into the neck circumference, but it also may be too loose. And you'll see that if you've got lots of gapping around the neckline at this point and there's just too much volume up there. So as we're looking at the neckline, the other thing we want to check, once we've got it all sitting like nice and flat, we want to also check that the neckline is sitting in the correct location on our body. And where that needs to sit is it should just sit where our neck meets our body. You can feel the break in your body, you can kind of feel the column of your neck and where it hits the rest of your torso at that point. So it should just form a nice neat circumference from the nape of your neck at that point there all the way round to those bones right at the front down there. You should be able to feel those at that point, and it should just sit all the way around there. So it may well be that on you, if your collarbones are down here, you may need to lower the neckline to just bring this neckline so that it's in the right location. So it may be that actually you need to lower the neckline like that and just create a nice soft curve that's then going to go back up to the neck point up here if that's in the correct location. So it may be that you need to make that change, or it may be on the back that the garment is just sitting too high at the neck and you need to bring that down so that it's sitting at the top of the nape. So you may need to take quite a significant amount off there, and likewise you may need to bring it up. It may just be too low on you, so you may need to bring that up on your pattern block as well. So let's take a look at how we can make this alterations to the height of the neckline and where it sits on your body. With the neckline changes to the body block, the principle is exactly the same for addressing the neckline if it's too tight or if it's just generally too loose all the way around. The first thing you'll need to note is how much you need to reduce or raise the neckline by, and then once you've got that, we're basically just going to do that on the pattern. So for the back neckline, you either raise it up or lower it down, and the same for the front. Now the front's a little bit more complicated because we have this bust dart here, so what we might look at doing is just moving that bust dart around to here so that we can just remove it out of the way, and then we can put it back together again in a few minutes. Now all it means is we either lower or raise the neckline here, or we're going to lower or raise the neckline here. So for the purpose of this example, I'm going to show a 1 centimetre reduction. So we're going to lower the neckline. This is assuming that our neck is just too tight and we just want to lower it all. But you may well need to raise your neckline, and the amount that you need to raise it by or reduce it by will be different depending on your own body block. So we'll start off with the back bodice because that is nice and simple. Okay, so starting off at the shoulder seam, we're going to reduce the length by 1 centimetre and then mark off a continued reference points for a 1 centimetre offset all the way around the back neck and draw that in. Now you can do this alteration straight on your block. I'm just using tracing paper for the purpose of the filming because I've only got one block to demonstrate all these changes on. So that is our first change. So our new shoulder line then sits like that and goes down into our dart. But you'll notice that the overall length of our shoulder has now reduced, obviously, by 1 centimetre. We're going to make some changes to the front bodice, and we're going to just move that dart and pop it down, or pop it down into the waist for now, I think actually. Just keep that nice and simple. So to start off with, just trace around your block at the top and shoulder and side seams. Do that really accurately with a nice sharp pencil. Okay, so that's our block. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to cut up both at the centre of both those darts. Make sure that your tracing paper over your block is sellotaped down nice and firmly so it's not going to shift around or move too much as you make these alterations. Brilliant, so now we've got a nice pivot point at the apex of our bust. Okay, and what we're wanting to do is just to close up bust dart so that it's reduce that volume so we can then play around with this shape up here a little bit. Just hold that in place with a piece of masking tape. Grab a different coloured pen, and at this point we're now just going to do exactly what we did over here and mark off our 1 centimetre offset all the way around our neckline and just draw that in. Okay, great, so effectively we've now reduced the length of our shoulder seam here, so it's going to match up with the reduced length that we've removed from the back, so the two shoulders will now match up beautifully. What we have done though is drop down the whole of this neckline, and now our dart is kind of cutting into our neckline at that point, which is not great, it's not what we want. So what I now want you to do, because your front neck point has moved from here to here, is to draw a line from your new front neck point down to your apex. Okay, and that now becomes the new side point for your dart. We're now just going to cut out our neck. And then I want you just to cut along that line there. We're then going to rotate the piece of paper back so that our original waist dart is sitting in the same place as it was previously, and our side seam and our shoulder seam are all nicely lined up. Pop your masking tape back on just to secure the tracing paper in place, and you can see that the impact of lowering that neckline has resulted in the dart location changing on your block. And that's perfectly normal, that's what we're expecting, just because the dart ties into the front neck point there. If that's moved, so will your dart effectively. But the volume of your dart has not changed, so don't worry about that. Okay, so the changes that you now need to mark on your body block are going to be the new location of this dart line here, so it's just offset slightly, so trace over that onto your block. And then it's also going to be the new neckline along here and the new dart line having moved across down to there. So transfer those markings onto your pattern piece. Thanks for joining me today. It's been great fun to look at that. I hope you found it really helpful. As always, please do pop your comments below the video. We always love to hear from you here at Minerva. So thanks for joining me today. I will see you next time.